Today, we're going on an exciting adventure around the world to learn amazing facts about geography. From majestic mountains to mysterious oceans, our planet is full of amazing phenomena and places. Let's explore together some of the most amazing facts that make our world so unique. Unowned land on Earth. You've heard of Antarctica, but did you know that the continent remains unowned? Governed by a group of nations in a unique international partnership, the continent is designated as a place belonging to peace and science. Egypt doesn't have the most pyramids in the world. Egypt may be known for its pyramids, but there's a country that has nearly twice as many: Sudan. Egypt has 118 discovered pyramids, while Sudan has 200. They were built for the Kushite kingdoms of Nubia in 751 BC and are made of granite and sandstone. It can snow in the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert is one of the hottest and driest places on Earth, with an average high temperature of over 40 Celsius, 104 Fahrenheit, sometimes going up to 47 Celsius, 117 Fahrenheit, for months at a time. But in January 2018, the Sahara had its third ever recorded snowfall. The other two were in 2016 and 1979. The world's longest and shortest flights, scared of flying? Then make sure not to board a flight from New York to Sydney, or it'll be a hard 18 5/10 hours. Opt for a flight from Loganair Westray to Papa Westray in Scotland for a short 1 5/10 minutes on board instead. There's a city with a population of 1 person, Monowi. Nebraska is a city in the United States that has something pretty unique about it. It only has 1 person living in it. Elsie Eiler is Monowi's only citizen and somewhat of a local celebrity. She's the mayor, secretary, and clerk, as well as the owner, cook, and bartender for Monowi's only restaurant. A country with no mosquitoes. Hate mosquitoes. Think about moving to Iceland. Aside from the continent of Antarctica, Iceland is the only country with no mosquitoes at all. The European country has a very low temperature, which makes it impossible for mosquitoes to breed and survive. Why is there no official capital of Switzerland? When the country transitioned from being a confederation of states, alliance of independent, sovereign cantons without actual unity, to a federal state, the Swiss population disagreed about whether the country should have a capital, and if so, which city would have the honor. The discussion ended with a compromise. The de facto capital is Bern, however. Nowhere in Swiss legislation is it stated that Bern is the official capital. Historically, this makes sense, as Switzerland is a confederation of 26 cantons, and assigning a capital located in one canton would make one canton more important than the others. There is enough salt in the ocean to cover the whole surface of the Earth. If the salt in the ocean could be removed and spread evenly over the Earth's land surface, it would form a layer more than 500 feet, 166 meters, thick, about the height of a 40-story office building. Why is the ocean salty? This salt mostly comes from rocks on land and is transported by rainwater runoff and riverine inputs to the sea. It can also be thrust into the ocean from hydrothermal vents on the seafloor. The number of species that live in the ocean is unknown. Eukaryotes are the plants, animals, and fungi found on Earth. Some studies estimate that there are about 8 7/10 million eukaryotic species globally, of which 2 2/10 million are marine, meaning about a quarter of all eukaryotic life lives in the ocean. What we do know is that our ocean is home to a wealth of biodiversity and every organism plays a critical role in the structure and function of this expansive marine environment. USGS science helps inform the management and conservation of marine biodiversity and habitats, from the coastlines down to the deepest trenches. Continents can move at the same rate as fingernails grow. The ancient supercontinent Pangaea took hundreds of millions of years to break up into what we know as the 7 continents. For 40 million years, the land masses of what are now North America and Africa moved at a rate of 1 millimeter per year. But 200 million years ago, and for 10 million years, the tectonic plates accelerated, breaking apart at a rate of 20 millimeters a year, or around the same rate at which fingernails grow, before slowing down once more. Turns out the plates have 2 distinct speeds, a fast one and a slow one, that they switch between. Africa is the only continent that lies in all 4 hemispheres. The world is divided into 4 hemispheres based on the equator and the prime meridian. While some continents fall into 2 hemispheres, Africa is the only continent that lies between all 4. Mount Chimborazo is the highest point on Earth, but not the world's tallest mountain. How can a mountain have the highest point on Earth without being the world's biggest mountain? With a boost from the Earth's equatorial bulge, Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador is 20,564 feet high, compared to Mount Everest's 29,029 feet height. The Earth is round, but not a perfect sphere, and is actually flatter at the poles with bulge around the equator, hence the equatorial bulge. Because of its location on the equator, Mount Chimborazo is 7,000 feet higher in the sky than Mount Everest, and the Ecuadorian mountain's summit is the farthest from Earth's core than any other mountain. The Appalachian Mountains are shrinking. Some believe that the Appalachians were once as tall as the Himalayas, but due to constant rain and wind erosion, they have been shrinking. In contrast, the Himalayan mountains are growing. Mountains are formed when tectonic plates collide and push the land upward. The Himalayas are still growing today, by about 78/100 inches a year, because the tectonic plates beneath India and Asia continue to push into each other. Like the Appalachians, the Himalayas are being eroded, but at a slower rate than that at which they're growing. The Himalayan mountain's highest point is Mount Everest, which has an elevation of 29,029 feet. The US state of California has a larger population than the whole population of the country of Canada. Hurricanes swirl. In the northern hemisphere, they swirl anti-clockwise, and in the southern hemisphere, they spin the other way. We hope you enjoyed our video journey and that it inspired you to explore our planet further. Keep exploring and learning about the world around you, and, of course, watch our videos. See you soon.